Yo, what's going on, baby? Can you hear me? Dude, I cannot hear you. I don't know if that's on my end or not.
What about now?
Can you guys hear Chris James? Oh, I think I can hear you.
What about now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. How you doing, man?
First world problems, man. Good. Good. Today's off to a freaking amazing start, dude.
I love that. So
amazing
I'm
start.
actually pretty excited now because more so this is actually my last week in this office. And an office. So I have an transitioning next week into the new one. So literally this week and today and more so Saturday on the podcast would be my last day in this specific office. It's going to be bittersweet, but super excited about the next office. Super excited about the entire just overall atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. It's definitely a game changer, and I'm super excited about it.
Bro, when you were telling me about this, I was thinking to myself, I was like, dude, I'm gonna move myself and my family over to Rochester, New York, because this new office sounds sick. Sounds totally dope. You got the espresso machines, you got the buffet line at lunch, and then I think they have they got Metallica that swings by like every other month or something and plays a little bit for you, don't they?
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's definitely pretty neat. They're national, which is phenomenal. And so even when I do move to Florida, I know for a fact it could be an easy transition and all that good stuff, especially when doing like not just live recordings, but also meetups. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I'm gonna send you a video today. I'm literally send you like a whole video, or I might just FaceTime you when I get there, like show you the atmosphere. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
I'm jelly, bro. yeah. Send me a video walkthrough.
No, 100%, 100%. When it's completely full, like well, finished, I should say. Chris, you were moving to Florida. Yeah, I've been moving to Florida since I was a baby. So yes,
closer, right? You're moving a mile closer to Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Carla, eventually I will be moving to Florida. I want to say probably beginning of 2024. 2024, I would definitely officially be in Florida. There's a lot of things in the works currently. It's just more so, you definitely don't want to force anything to happen. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But initially, it's going to be pretty neat because initially buying a subject to house or a seller finance house in the creative finance world versus going through the traditional bank, it's going to be pretty neat. So
let's go catch gators.
See, that's the obstacle right there. This is why I'm not there now. I'm delaying it. This is really a good stage of analysis paralysis because I don't do well with those geckos that run around. Yes, I call them geckos. I don't do well with them at all. So I do got to get used to that, but more so I may have to set not mouse traps but gator traps all around the outside of the house.
You know what? Speaking of gators, I saw this. I was scrolling through social media this weekend, and I saw this reel of this guy, this old dude. I'm assuming he's in Florida, but he had a frying pan. This guy was a beast, bro. But he had a frying pan, and there was this gator that came out of the water and up onto his yard. And was actually going like straight for his ass. And this guy had a frying pan and he hits him on the nose once and like stuns him, hits him on the nose again. And the gator turned around and went right back into the right back into the water, man. So I guess when you move down there, let me know so I can send you a housewarming gift. We'll get an etched frying pan. We'll personalize it and everything for you. So you got some defense against them damn gators.
That is interesting. See, when it comes to mice, any kind of reptiles, I become an entire bee. I'm not gonna say it, but I don't deal with it. They can literally have an entire house. That's not a problem. Like it's either me or them. So it's pretty neat overall, but I'm super excited about it for what the next steps look like. It's just a matter of actually making it happen. So beginning of 2024, I'd definitely be down there. more so like either Hollywood, Florida, and or Fort Lauderdale.
Just bring it over here and I'll get it for you.
Or I'm through the area. So between those 3 areas, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And then I'm gonna throw a little I want to say a party more so like a sub 2 / House of Cards invite kind of thing.
That'd be sick.
I think it's gonna be pretty neat. It's gonna be pretty neat.
Well, let me just plant this seed real quick since we're on and we're talking about it, and just throw it to the wind. Just throw it to the wind. Obviously, making a big move like this it's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. You want to be intentional about it. You want to be methodical. You want to be, you got to be thinking about all the Geicos and shit that you're going to potentially be seeing, how you're going to deal with it, how you're going to deal with, boa constrictors coming up your toilet and all that other kind of, crazy shit that goes on down in Florida.
Blow the whole house up. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're my brother. You're my BFF. I would do anything for you. And that being said, in front of all these people, I need to just say this. Imagine living in a place where none of that stuff existed. Wouldn't that be amazing, Chris? Wouldn't that just be the best thing? Somewhere where Christmas came not but once a year, but year round to every woman, man, and child. I'm talking about a little place called Alaska.
Alaska. Good old Alaska. It's so funny we just talked about Alaska. My family and I were literally planning a cruise to Alaska.
What?
October of 2024. So we're pretty excited. It's actually about 17 of us that's going. We actually was having this conversation last weekend because of Mother's Day. We was trying to plan them next week. We're planning on doing about 5 to 6 trips next year. 2 of them being a cruise, and one of them was literally Alaska. My sister actually brought that up, and shout out to Monique if you're listening. But
shout out Monique.
She brought up Alaska and also brought up Cancun. So those are 2 places we've thought about potentially going. I know we're going to do 2 cruises. We're not for sure specifically which ones we're going to do, but 100% we're taking about 6 trips. 2 of them cruises. 4 is going to be obviously out of state somewhere. Just don't know yet. Mm-hmm. Pansy says, I would like to visit Alaska. No, you don't. No, you don't.
You do, man. Come in Alaska, dude. I tell everybody, man. Everybody says they want to come up. Nobody makes a trip, but make anybody that makes a trip up, you guys are more than welcome up here. And I would love to play personal tour guide to everybody, and we'll go do all the things. We'll go do the 4-wheeling and the fishing and the camping and the hiking, and go do hike on glaciers and shit, and we'll go ride Rudolph, go shoot Rudolph.
That'd be actually pretty interesting to actually visit the North Pole. I think that'd be pretty interesting. I actually feel excited about that. But actually living there, and I'm how do I explain this? I don't know if I'm mentally prepared for that.
Chris, I don't blame you. It's like trying to say, hey, I would love to move to Mars. Like, nobody knows what that's like, but you got to go experience it. And then you're like, oh, yeah, no, this would be awesome. Jesse and I could wake up every day at 3 a.m. We could go hit the gym. We could go do all these things. We could build our own. Maybe we'll franchise that business, that office space company thing, and then we'll build that out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Larry asked, Chris, are you in Florida? No, not yet. But I 99% sure I will be in Florida 2024.
Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. What's going on, Michelle? And
Ed, what's going on, guys?
They got some pretty neat things going on. If you haven't reached out to
dude, Michelle, let us know when. We will definitely come down there.
Yeah,
that would be super dope.
So Michelle and her husband, they're based in basically the Carolinas area. They host meetups. I think it's every other month, or don't quote me, either every month or every other month. But they are in sub 2. They're mastermind students as well, and more so specifically, they're looking to be a resource just like us. We're resources for a lot of individuals, and they're building their community in literally North Carolina. And if you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, or surrounding areas, I think a phenomenal person to reach out is Michelle. Phenomenal people, I should say, is Michelle and her husband. Let's see. So Larry states, let me see. Are you guys ready to buy some sub-2 deals for me? I still need help structuring and sending out LOI letters, and I'm assuming OFC funding, etc. Proof of OFC. I'm assuming you meant proof of funds. I'll offer an example, but yes, 100%. We can definitely help you. We're buying all over. We can definitely help you structure them as well, to cater to what we're looking for. I'm not for sure specifically what states you're working in. I believe you're in Florida, Larry, if I'm not mistaken, but more so, we're buying in literally all 50 states. Well, let me take that back. We're buying in 49 states.
And the state we're not buying in, guys, is not Alaska.
Illinois, we took off the board for a little bit. So unless it's a turnkey asset that's cash flowing like a cow or whatever that looks like, we look at it, but we're staying away from that. Florida, Vegas, Hawaii, 100%. All those places. Florida, Vegas, and Hawaii, Larry, 100%. We buy deals there all the time. We are credit sponsors in Gators. Yes, Michelle and her husband, they're literally credit sponsors in Gators. They're looking to be sponsors for people who really need it. At the same time, bring value to when working with people. Pansy Sal was going to say Illinois. Well, Pansy's got to be one hell of a deal.
Illinois must be one of those states.
Right.
That reputation.
That is hilarious. Michelle, so we're looking at coastal land for and RV parks. So initially, yeah, they're niching down, which is phenomenal. That's very rare to find. A lot of people really niching down in specific areas, markets, and counties. Jesse and I are literally broadening ourselves into more real estate. We're moving into a lot of more commercial real estate, and the sky is the limit for us. So whatever that may look like for creative deals or cash deals, we're looking to buy all over, long as it specifically cash flows and the margins are there. We're not going to force the deal to happen if the numbers are not there. Larry states, he's actually bringing it on the screen. Sorry, guys, my computer is actually lagging. Not for sure, but next week with my new Wi-Fi and the modem, it's gonna be amazing. No lag time or no nothing. I'm super excited about that. Larry says, direct to agent. I do direct to agent on market deals. We pay closing costs and commission. So I'm assuming this is his lead flow. This is what he's doing. He's communicating with agents to get on market deals. And Larry, if I was you specifically, I would kind of expand on that just a little bit with the agent. Like, ask them if they're looking for, if they have any pocket listings or deals that expired in the past that they had, to try to more so get them under creative finance.
Dude, Larry's actually got his own podcast that he does. He's live on it. I see him literally, I think every single day. And correct me if I'm wrong, Larry. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's Larry the Lion, man. And he needs to Larry, there's this. I need to introduce you to the guy who did the voiceover intro for Chris, the introduction for Chris and mine's podcast. Because I think that would be a cool, like, welcome to the Lion's Den. And then this big Larry the Lion. He had a good voice for it. I think something like that would be really super cool, though, man, for an introduction.
Absolutely. So those who are, first time joining us, so we're streaming from Facebook and YouTube. So we're streaming from several different destinations. We're streaming within our Facebook, House of Cards with Chris James and Jesse Stanton. Jesse's personal page, my personal page, our YouTube channels, and also our House of Cards YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm not for sure where you guys are coming from. I know that we got a couple Facebook users, guys. If please grant StreamYard access to see your name so we can ensure that we're highlighting you. I believe that Facebook user that did comment, I want to say that's Angel, but I could be wrong.
So I think, guys, moving forward, so what Chris and I are going to do is every single day at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to go live in the House of Cards Facebook group. Any questions that you guys have, anything that you guys are working on, we want to be able to address those and expedite those. So whatever it is that you guys are needing, maybe, and we're going to have things that we're going to, talk about. So there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to be going over every single day within that Facebook group. So if you guys are not part of that Facebook group, get in there. Because like Chris said, we're streaming everywhere right now. But moving forward, these streams are going to be exclusively to people that are in that Facebook group. So again, if you guys are not, make sure you guys head on over there and be part of that group. Again, it is the House of Cards with Chris James and Jesse Stanton. So please make sure you guys get over there. The reason, I don't know if anybody knows this. I know when we first created the group and the podcast and all that kind of stuff, kind of dived into it a little bit, but it was really neat how, and Chris came up with this actually, and I thought he did a fantastic job with it, because real estate is so unique and nothing ever goes right. Nothing ever goes perfectly. Chris and I know that better than anybody else. And when it comes to buying and selling real estate, whether that's wholesaling, creative finance, conventionally, whatever, you never know what hand you're going to get dealt. You never know what hand you're going to get dealt. There are so many variances and things that happen. I mean, shit, even before you get under contract, man. And then you open up escrow, and there's another slew of shit that happens. You never know what hand you're going to get dealt. So we wanted to create a community and an environment of business professionals where we could come in here and together collectively work to stack our deck, because you never know what hand you're going to get dealt. So how can we better prepare than to intentionally stack our own deck? There's enough resources, just in the amount of people that we have watching right now, I guarantee there is enough resources to do any deal, to raise any amount of capital. It's all just about intentional. What are you doing with those relationships? Are you leveraging the community properly? Are you leveraging your group properly? Are you leveraging your time properly? I saw a thing, it really put it into perspective. This gentleman asked this lady how much money she makes every single year. And she said, $50,000. Oh, just looking at the comments.
No, you're fine. No, it doesn't. Facebook user, no, it doesn't.
Somebody else will help him. Go look. We've already addressed this.
Right.
So this lady tells this guy, I'm making $50,000 a year. And this guy writes 50 grand on a whiteboard. And then he writes $1 million right above that. Turns it into a math problem, writes the line underneath it. $1 million minus $50,000 is $950,000. That's the check that you pay life every single year for not knowing how to make $1 million. Think about that for a second. Everybody's trying to make $1 million. And we have things that come up every single day. In your business, you are presented with opportunities. I made a post about this. Maybe you guys have read it. If you guys hadn't, I'll share a little bit of it. We talked to a gentleman yesterday about a property that he needed help dispoing. Called him to touch base and say, hey, can we get a little bit more information? We'd love to send this out to our buyers, blah, 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 blah. And he says, I'm actually standing in line to eat lunch right now. We're like, okay, is now a good time to talk, or where are we going from here then? And he's like, man, let me call you back. I never heard from him. Never heard from him. Imagine that. You set out a goal. Oh my gosh. I'm getting all excited now. Imagine the end of last year. And that's you. That's a lot of people watching this probably. Unbeknownst to you, you're not consciously thinking about it in that context. But think about where you were last year and the goals that you set out for yourself this year. Maybe you wanted to make $1 million. Maybe you want to make $500,000, maybe $100,000. Maybe just do your first deal. I don't know. And so you start manifesting this. You start saying, hey, this is the direction that I want to go. I want to be a successful person. I want to run a Fortune 500 company. I want to learn how to manage money. I want to learn how to be a leader. I want to learn how to build a business. I want to do all these things. And so what does the universe do? The universe starts manifesting and putting all of these things into play so that you can overcome those obstacles, so that you can elevate yourself, so that you can achieve those results that you told the universe that you wanted towards the fourth quarter of last year. So if somebody calls you and says, hey, would love to dispo this for you, want to make money with you, need a little bit more information. And your response is, actually, I'm on lunch right now. Can I call you back? Imagine that. Imagine you are biting into a sandwich. Money literally comes banging on your damn door. It's blowing it down because you know Chris and I are triple dialing people that don't answer. That door is coming down. And we're like, hey, we want to make money with you. It's like, actually, guys, now's not a good time for me. Kind of eating lunch. Can I call you back? Those types of mistakes are why people write themselves a check for $950,000 a year.
Yep. No, and I agree. I couldn't agree more because initially when we reached out to this individual yesterday, it kind of like it was not a reality check more so. It's more so specifically what a mindset looks like. That individual's mindset was it could have been a life-changing situation for him. It could have been life-changing. You just never know what opportunity was on the other line. He could have went from, we don't know how much he possibly potentially was making. He's probably making 30, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 a year. But imagine receiving a $70,000 check in 1 month. These are life-changing opportunities. If it was me, somebody called me and I was in line for lunch and someone's called me for opportunity to potentially, make money with you, I may have to wait about 10 to 15 minutes to get back in line. And, it's just a lot of different things. And everything Jesse stated was true. Because these are the kind of people are out there. And you don't want to surround yourself with those kind of individuals. And I'm glad you just actually brought that up, and more so because this is one very recent, and two, the kind of mentality a lot of people have out there. And versus us, right? People are calling us. We're looking to make money. We're looking to make money. We're looking to build relationships. We're looking to build partnerships and scale our business to the next level. We don't want to stop. Like that was a perfect example of being comfortable. He's comfortable in that line waiting for his lunch and not succeeding to the next step. Versus we like being uncomfortable. We have to be uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you're going to be in that same line for the next 5 days, for the next 10 years, ordering that same whatever he was ordering.
Oh, man. What a nugget right there, bro. Gosh, dang.
Yeah. Versus just the fact of, if you don't put yourself in uncomfortable positions, you won't see the next chapter of your life. You won't. So I'm glad you brought it up, man. I almost totally forgot about that happening yesterday.
I'm glad you said something, man. Because I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. That's where my mindset first goes. When something doesn't happen or I feel like I missed something, I'm like, okay, what is going on right now? I'm listening to the tonality, the rate, the pitch, the speed. And, I feel like that's one of my superpowers. I feel like I do very well of being able to read people. And I try to put myself in somebody else's shoes every single time I meet with somebody, whether it's for the first time or the 100th time. And I can't think of a scenario where, well, for the most part, with a few exceptions, right? Maybe some life emergency happens where I would push somebody off the phone. But dude, whether it was Grant Cardone or somebody who's looking to do their first deal, if either one of those two people called me and I was standing in line, I would step out of line to have that conversation Because like you said, you don't know what's going to manifest because of that. I'm such a huge proponent in chasing the relationship, not the deal.
Yeah.
And I know I've been doing this long enough. I know that one conversation with the right person is something that could change your entire life. It's just mind-boggling to me that you have people that they got all these big fucking ambitions and dreams and things that they want to do towards the end of the year for next year, but they can't be bothered because they're eating a fucking sandwich, man. It's so crazy. But I love that you pointed that out there, right? Silver lining is Chris and I, where we are, we notice shit like that. We are intentional with that. And we say, okay, this type of person, or not, excuse me, this type of, I didn't mean this type of person. This person is somebody we are not going to waste time with. This person is not somebody who we're going to elevate with. It's not somebody we're going to grow with. It's not somebody we're going to make money with. Silver lining. Just like when you start, maybe you guys can remember, or maybe you guys are in this position right now. I don't know. I remember when I first started getting into real estate, and my people that I worked with started talking shit. I had family members that were talking shit, and they're like, man, what are you doing? You're giving up on this. You're giving up on benefits, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, like, why are we thinking so low here for a second, And to me, the silver lining of that was, okay, good. You guys, boom, you guys are cut off. You guys are not doing anything that's going to elevate me, my circumstances, in the direction that I'm trying to go. And just like when people get on Facebook, and they bitch, they complain, even if they're trying to be funny with it, it comes off extremely passive aggressive or sarcastic. Like, that just tells me those types of people are people that I do not want to make money with. Chris and I and other people of higher calibers, like they notice that stuff.
Yep.
And when people are so just laissez-faire with how they come off and the types of shit that they're actually putting out on social media as a representation of themselves, they say they want to be up here, but their actions are so scarcity-minded. They're so limited. They're posting and saying things that 99% of the rest of the population is doing. They got aspirations and dreams and stuff of the 1%, but their actions are down here. Their mindset is down here. The first thing they want to know is, hey guys, I got a deal. How much money are we going to make? Wait, what? This has nothing to do with it. Well, let's find out what's going on with the seller first. How can we be a resource to what the seller's trying to do? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Shit, even if we don't make any money on this deal, how can we help this person out? You got to chase the relationship. Stop chasing the deal, because you never know what's going to happen, what's going to be the byproduct, what is going to manifest from having one conversation with the right individual. I actually had a conversation with an individual this morning before we jumped on. Coincidentally enough, he's in North Carolina as well. And he's unloading on me like all of these things. I'm like, holy torpedo bat, man. I'm not even sure what I can share, so I'm not going to share anything over this. But it was like I'd never even heard of this kind of stuff, and wasn't prepared for it at all. Him and I, we've never done a deal or anything like that, but we've just been very intentional with that relationship and strengthening it and being a resource and wanting to provide value to each other. And then all of a sudden, like, he calls me this morning. He's like, dude, I've got a couple people that I would love to bring onto this, and you're one of them. Here's kind of what I'm working on. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, Chris and I haven't even had a chance to talk about this yet. This is how new this is. But this all just came from just being intentional with relationships and learning where to provide value and not saying, hey, actually, you know what? It's not a convenient time for me. I'm eating my sandwich. Mm-hmm. So I just want to throw that out there. If you guys have all of these freaking dreams and things that you want to accomplish this year, that's great. We can help you elevate those, and we can leverage the people in this community and the people that are in here watching this live right now to do that. But you guys have to be intentional with what it is you're trying to do, and your actions have to reflect those. Don't be so scarcity minded to think that, hey, you can't pay somebody for their time or for learning something. Because here's what it comes down to. The most expensive thing that we pay for is the information that we don't know. Let me repeat that one more time. The most expensive thing that we pay for is the information that we don't know. Well, in this game of real estate, it is all relationships. Be intentional with the relationship. Chase the relationship, not the deal.
Couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
I'm glad you shared that.
Yep, I was just looking at that as well. Thanks for being vulnerable.
Yeah, thank you.
I think we all was in that situation or some kind of stage of our life where we're just going on Facebook complaining on all that good stuff. I was that guy. 5-6 years ago, I was that guy. Complaining, go to Facebook and all that good stuff. But I 100% agree with you, Pansy. I have came a long way. That kind of stuff, I may read it, go on to the next thing, and just pretend like it was never there. So I'm glad you're being vulnerable. Very, 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 very vulnerable. Actually, Angel Miller right here, because we just had this conversation. Actually, it's so funny.
She fixed it. We can see her now.
Angel Miller.
That was her the whole time, by the way, bro. Angel Miller.
I can't get it right.
Angel, you're going to hear about this later.
Angel and I was literally just having this conversation about like Facebook posts and negativity and all that stuff. Because initially, at the end of the day, negativity is not going to get you nowhere. It's really not going to get you nowhere. But involving more drama. Like, who really wants to be involved? You can't make money with drama like that just on Facebook. Unless you go to some kind of reality show, then, do what you do. But more so, it's just first within real estate, as Jesse was stating earlier, imagine if Grant Cardone called you. Actually, no, imagine Grant Cardone calling Jesse Stanton. He's standing in line. He said, "Hey, this is Grant. I'm calling about whatever this is." And then Jesse tells him, "I'm at lunch. I'm at lunch right now." Like,
what if I didn't know? To take it a step further, what if I didn't know that was Grant Cardone?
Yeah.
Right? Because you never know where these relationships are going to go. You never know who's on the other line, man.
Yeah, it could have been Grant Cardone's assistant, Pace Morby's assistant. You just never know. And it's crazy to think about because a lot of things that we're mentioning today is kind of resonated with me a little bit, especially coming from the hospitality restaurant industry. A lot of it. So a lot of people, even my family members, think I've changed. 100% I have. I have changed. I changed my mindset. I changed a lot of different things within my, mind, body, soul, and all that good stuff. And spiritually, it's just more so literally I'm growing. And I'm not ashamed to say that, right? So a lot of people think I'm changing because I think I'm better than them. That's not the case at all. It's just if I don't change, I'll be in the same situation I was 2, 3, 4 years ago. It's just
the same deli line, bro.
That same absolutely. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. So Jesse and I, we're going to continue to jump on there on a daily basis. Is it going to be like Tuesday through Friday or Monday through Friday? What does this look like, Jesse?
Yep, Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, guys.
Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, we may have to do like 1:15 Eastern Standard Time, just in case one of our meetings go over, or keep it. We'll let you guys know, but it's gonna be routine, reoccurrence. We probably send out. We're probably going to do either a Zoom or specifically do another one for StreamYard tomorrow, and then kind of rotate to a Zoom. So and again, you have to join House of Cards with Chris James and Jesse Stanton to get all the access and all the pretty neat things that we got going on. Tomorrow we have it's not book club. What is going on tomorrow, Jesse?
Tomorrow is the Sellers Roundtable.
Yes, that's what I think about it.
So join Crit or I'm sorry, there's two Jameses. That's why it's confusing. It's Chris James, then we got James Hostert. Yeah, join James Hostert and Angel Miller. They go live every single week in our group, Calling Sellers Live. So if you guys want to learn how to do that, how to better communicate, how to negotiate, how to pitch creative, how to overcome objections. Do you guys have Q&A on how? Yeah, I think most people have it wrong when they think of sales and the order of operations that needs to happen. Just as an example, most people do is they call the seller, they get the 4 pillars, right? They find out the timeline, the price, condition, and the motivation. And then what they do is they hang up with the seller and they're like, okay, I'm going to go run my numbers. I'll follow back up with you. Click, right? And then they go run numbers. And then they're either playing tag with the seller, or the seller ultimately comes back after they try to pitch creative. And they're like, I'm not really interested in creative. It's not a good fit. But the entire time it took you between phone calls, maybe you spent a week, maybe more. Hell, maybe you spent even longer trying to follow up with this guy, ultimately to find out that he's not interested in selling. That is 100% the wrong way to go about it. If you're watching this and you are making calls, you're gathering information, and then you're going and you're comping properties, if that's your next step, you're doing it wrong. If you want to learn how to do it right, get in the Facebook group, get in the Zoom, and learn how to be more intentional with your time so you can easily qualify and move forward with those deals or disqualify. So we want to get to a point where we can send a contract out as soon as possible. So if you guys are struggling with that, if you guys would love to learn more, please go join the group and be there tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the House of Cards. And then we've got book club coming up on Friday, which has been awesome. Guys, if you guys are watching this and you guys are not part of book club, oh my goodness. We've been doing it for, I think, maybe 5. I think this is week number 6, I think. This is our 3rd book. So these are so powerful. I mean, I am getting tons personally. I'm getting just tons from these book clubs. And I know that everybody else is as well. It is just, it's phenomenal. We got an entire group of individuals that we're reading these books together. We're journaling about it. We're bringing those to the discussion. We're reading 2 books a month. And we're talking about how we can implement these strategies, these different ways of thinking, how we can come in and network and grow together, challenge each other, and give and share different perspectives. We had an amazing meeting. The last 2, they've all been really amazing. The last 2 meetings specifically, it was neat because there was a lot of different shared perspectives on things that a lot of us weren't thinking. And it was like, oh, wow, boom, that was a golden nugget. That was awesome. That's neat to have like an entire group of people that read the same thing, but they get totally, completely different things from reading that. And it's so neat to be able to come back and share those perspectives, because that's what growth is. When you're leveling up your mindset, if you read a book and then you learn something from it, and you read another book, you're going to read that next book with a different perspective because of what you read in the first book. And then 6 months later, if you were to go back and read the book again that you initially started with, you're going to go back and you're going to take something else different from it. Not because you didn't remember it the first time, but because you're looking at that entire thing from a completely different lens. You literally have, it's like putting glasses on and you're reading something else, because you can interpret it differently. You can apply it differently. And when you get into a room with other individuals who are trying to do the same thing from reading these books, and you can maximize that growth in one meeting, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, you tell me how fast you're growing. It's almost like if you could take like all this knowledge that you would, and personal development that you would do in a year, and just shrink it down to even like a 2 or 3 month period, how much further ahead does that put you ahead of the next guy, ahead of your competition, of the people that you used to put on a pedestal, that you used to compare yourself to? What does that do to your rate of growth at that point? So to be so stinking intentional. I love what Angel said. That's so true. Never read a book just once. Dude, I love that. I think I've read a lot of these books that we're reading. I think I've read them once already this year, and some of them 2 or 3 times. So it just goes to show just how important it is to be intentional with what you guys are doing. One thing real quick before we wrap this up, I wanted to throw this out here. Just sticking with the theme of being intentional and stacking your wins and noticing your wins and documenting your growth. Somebody asked me this morning what it meant to stack your wins. What does that mean? Actually, I was talking with Angel and Larry this morning on Instagram. That's right. And I was talking about how important it is to stack your wins in the freaking morning. Steve Harvey said, you know what? He said, rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. So start with that. If you guys are waking up at 7 or 8 in the morning, I'm not saying you guys got to wake up at 3 a.m. That's what I like to do. But I'm not saying you have to do that. But if you're waking up at 7 or 8 a.m., challenge yourself a little bit. Wake up 2 hours earlier. Instead of waking up at 7, wake up at 5. Challenge yourself. And guess what? That is a win. If you get up at 5 a.m. and you used to get up at 7 and you're not hitting the snooze button, you get up and get going, that's a win. Get up and drink 20 ounces of water right from the get-go. Boom. That's another win. Get into your daily meditation, your reading, go to the gym. Those are all stacking wins. And the more that you can do that, it's these little things. When you watch and you listen to what a lot of these people like, Grant Cardone, it's not these big wins. It's not like these people just get one home run in their life and then that's what makes it. That's their big breakthrough. It's all of these little wins. When you look at Michael Jordan, for example, he wasn't looking to make these great strides. He was looking for the 0.001% way to be better. And it was so interesting hearing how him and Kobe progressed their growth to make them that much better. And you know what? It's interesting because we're always talking about, we talked about books and, continuing to read a lot of those same books again from a different perspective. That is just a good practice to get into. These are the basics. And we need to create this solid foundation that we can continue scaling from. And when you look at people like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, the reason they were the best basketball players in the world is because they always went back and they were intentional with practicing the basics. There's actually a reporter who told a really amazing story about that. So I remember ever since I heard that has just been a staple in what I do. And when it comes to, talking with sellers and closing deals, that has been something I've been very intentional with in terms of setting my day up in order so I can stack wins in the morning, and then to complement those wins, my entire day is built and time blocked around developing my avatar while I'm still getting business done. So if you guys want, one of the days that Chris and I go live, we can show you guys how to stack your day, stack your wins, how to be intentional, how to time block your day so that you guys can better track your progress and actually see things manifest, and you're not in this hamster wheel of, hey, I've been so busy, I've been busy, but why am I not getting any traction? I can tell you it's from these little things that you're not doing. So you need to stack your wins. So I'll give you real quick before I wrap, I'll give you like a rundown. As you guys know, I love books. Huge bookworm, which just sounds weird. I never thought that I would say that. Don't tell my mom. That was a funny joke, guys. You guys can laugh at that. Anyway, I'm worried my mom will think less of me if she knows that I'm out here reading books. Anyway, so I love to read, and I read 2 books at the same time. I read a mindset book, and I read a skill set book. So I wake up at 3 a.m. My alarm goes off at 3 a.m. I get my ass up. I have my AirPods that sit on my nightstand right next to my bed. And without even opening my eyes, I grab my AirPods, I throw them in, and I start an audiobook on mindset. And I go through, I don't know, I'll probably read a book or two a week usually. But I start a new book, but each time I start a new book, it's always centered around those two things, either mindset or learning a skill. Mindset or learning a skill. So I start my day out already reading before my feet even hit the floor. And then I get up, I get dressed to go to the gym, brush my teeth, I'm making my coffee. And while I'm doing that, I'm journaling. Well, the coffee's brewing. So I've got my journaling in for the day. And then I do about 10 or 15 minutes worth of visualization, meditation, looking over my goals. I've got like a dream sheet. And then I go to the gym. And I get to the gym usually around between 3:30 and 3:45. I've got my half a gallon of water. And then I finish up with the gym. Chris and I have meetings at 6 a.m. and then again at 7 a.m. with with him and I, and then our team, our acquisitions, and our dispo team. And then we have a meeting at 8 o'clock for an hour. And between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, we have two meetings. We have one from 8 to 8:30 and one from 8:30 to 9 o'clock. And during those meetings, that's what we use to network. That's where we use to build meaningful relationships with people. We actually had one today with a gentleman that we'll end up doing some deals with. That's actually why we were about 15 minutes late getting on here. But we're on a Zoom with this guy going over deals and talking about how can we make money together. And it was funny because he actually got the realtor to jump in as well. And so we got to talk with the realtor and talk about a deal and share a little bit about what we do and how we work and how we can all come in and make money together. So we're very intentional every day with being consistent. But that's just kind of, I mean, by the time 9 a.m. hits for me and we go live, in our Facebook group, I mean, shoot, I've already done more than most people do in a week, and it's only 9 a.m. So from my perspective, I'm always thinking like, we talked about missed opportunities. When you get a phone call from somebody, you don't know who it is or what's it about, or especially if it's related to the things that you're trying to do, you got to be intentional with that. You've got to be so like, I am so scared to miss the opportunity to be successful that I can't, in my head, like I can't afford to not wake up at 3. Because I know that I'm doing so much between just even 3 a.m. and 9 a.m. that if I sleep in till 4, if I sleep in till 5, if I sleep in till 7, I'm going to miss that opportunity. So that's how I think about it. But anyway, we can get more into time blocking and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into what I'm talking about when I say stack your wins in the morning. Be intentional with what it is you're trying to do, the direction you're trying to go, and who you see yourself and who you want to become. So those are my final thoughts for this morning. Chris, do you have anything else you'd like to add? Or
I think everything you said is amazing because it brings a lot of perception about like just reality of real estate, what's right, what's wrong, what the next step looks like. Being intentional is very important part of my life now, right? Because initially going from the hospitality restaurant industry was a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of, it's the restaurant life, right? So it's a lot of differences versus the real estate. You're an entrepreneur, you're not working in a W-2 setting. You're working in, you're doing a totally different atmosphere due to the fact that you have employees now, you have businesses. You have not just running not one, but multiple. So there's a lot of different aspects. You can't sleep until 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Would I love to do it? 100%. With Jesse, 100%. However, we can't. We can't. One day we will, but right now we can't. We're trying to build an empire. And in order to do the empire, get uncomfortable, make sacrifices, and life is going to change. It's not going to be easy. Let's be very, very clear. It's not going to be easy. You're going to come across a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, a lot of fires, I should say. We're going to walk through those fires like it's not there. There's going to be a lot of different things you have to come and like go through to better yourself. And like what Jesse knows very well, like even within our own business, let's be transparent. We have, obstacles that we go through, but we treat it as a learning lesson. We can't really get upset because it's happening for a reason. Could we possibly potentially prevented it? Maybe. But we learn it from experience to let people know what not to do and not let it happen to them. From Alaska to New York, I can promise you, like we're going to not let it happen to you guys, but just more so we're coming from experience, and we really just want to see the best of everyone. We really do. We really do. And last thing, my final thoughts more so, guys, don't forget to join Jesse's business coaching. I'm not for sure what the wait list looks like specifically. I'm not for sure if there's like a link Jesse can drop in or let them know, or join the House of Cards with Chris James and Jesse Stanton. Jesse will have a link somewhere in there. You can actually sign up, have a call, see what that initially looks like. But we're moving forward Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be doing lives. The answer, I forgot his question. He's asking where we streaming from. What platform we're using. We're using StreamYard. I believe we're going to be using StreamYard for quite a while, then maneuvering over to Zoom. But that'll be to be determined and announced.
100%. Oh, real quick, Saturday.
Saturday is going to be an amazing day. Saturday is going to be I'm actually super stoked. There's going to be some phenomenal individuals on there. Well, we got huge announcements, and especially if you're working a 9 to 5 and you don't know how to escape it, I think this would be a perfect opportunity for you. I think this would be an amazing opportunity for you. If you really don't, if you like going to work, go to work, clock in, clock out, do the whole 9 yards, and start over. Start over the next day. But more so, if you really want to escape your 9 to 5, your W-2, just talking as far as not just 9 to 5, you're doing an overnight, you're doing A shift, B shift, C shift, whatever shift that is, and you don't like it, you want to get out of that cycle, you need to be on our podcast at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. Amazing individuals going to be on, and it's going to be pretty neat. I kind of wish I would have knew this a long time ago.
Me too, dude. Me too. I'm pretty excited about it. Because what's neat about what we're going to announce, first and foremost, we're doing a challenge.
Yes.
It's completely free.
Yep.
So it's going to challenge you guys. It's going to give you guys the information, the clarity, the directions, everything that you need to know to go in here and take action. Now, here's what's really cool about this is you can wholesale and buy houses without using any of your own cash, credentials, or credit. And not only that, what if I told you you didn't have to know a lick about creative finance? You didn't even have to talk to a seller, as a matter of fact, let alone try to convince, right? I think there's a big misconception there when it comes to creative finance. I get a lot of people that reach out to me, and I'm sure, Chris, you as well, where they're like, hey, I've got this deal in Las Vegas, and how do I convince this seller to sell to me on sub 2? It's like, well, that's really not what creative finance is. That's not how it works. But you don't have to freaking convince sellers to sell creatively. That's the neatest part about this whole thing. So you guys tune in at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Saturday. We're going to announce everything.
Thanks for listening to the House of Cards podcast with Chris James and Jesse Stanton. We hope you've enjoyed this episode and have learned something new about real estate investing. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips and tricks.